FFIE action video. Yep, this morning you've seen the stock pop up and down like a yo-yo. We've got Sensei live on the show today, going to give us some insights exactly what's going on, but we also have an action. What am I talking about? Well, I'm talking about something that you can get involved in the making of this video. We are in members only mode, so no one who's a bot or a scammer can spoil it and say silly things. But right now, I've got Sensei on the phone, and he's going to give me his thoughts on where FISCA is going. But right now, live in the channel, live in the show, this will go out as its own video later on, I want you to take part in a very, very important poll. Now, as I said before, we do rank number one now for FFIE, and this will get seen by a lot of people. This poll is very, very important. Here it is. It's taking place right now on my X account, and price prediction. Please vote in poll. At the moment, with 95 votes, you think it's going to $10 or $100. The two highest votes, 44% of you think a stock with no value whatsoever being evicted from the premises. You think because of Reddit and stock twits and all the rest of it, you think it's going to $10. Some of you think it's going to $100. Now then, I'm going to wonder now how this poll will change over this discussion with Sensei. All right. Now, I've given my opinions already. The fact that I believe 100% it's going to zero. When I started talking about GameStop was running up. No one was stopping it. It happened the same as last time, except last time, no one was against what Roaring Kitty was doing. This time, I was. I said, I made a video, the English lion takes on the kitty. And ever since I said it's going to zero, it's rubbish, those videos have been doing quite well. People have been asking the question, is it different this time? Yes. One, he now has some resistance. There are people like me saying it cannot go up again. It's going to zero. And I'm saying it. And because of that, it's scaring off the army, number one. Number two, the SEC, as I pointed out this morning in a video, you want to make sure that you go and watch it, by the way. I've just recorded a video about new rules with the SEC where they are bringing out systems in place to stop this happening immediately. So this is not going to happen again. GameStop is going to zero. Okay, I've explained all of that, so you want to make sure that you check that out. Click above my head, just about there. Sensei, give me a time when I did that. All right, just about there is when I will put the card, and down below in the description as well, you want to go and check out that video that I have just done about the SEC rules. Very, very important. But this is the poll we're doing right now. I'm going to ask Sensei his opinions, because you know my opinion from the point of view of the fundamentals, the balance sheet, the fact where the company stand, and all the rest of it. All right, I'll just quickly show you on the screen before I come to Sensei. This is the balance sheet of FFIE. Just make sure I am in the right one. I made that mistake the other day. FFIE. You can see here, if we look at the assets, 579 million in assets, 317 in liabilities. But the last time they reported, if I'm correct in saying, when was the last one? Estimate September 24, June 30th, 24. Estimate, yeah, we're estimates all at the moment. There's no revenue 23, estimate of March 23 of March. Yeah, so we haven't had an update yet. We've not had updates since the last report was back in December. All of this is estimate, so it looks better than it actually is, and some of you are using this as a guide. These figures now are out of date. They're not reporting at the moment. They're not updating their situation. Profitability, you can see 15%. And that is without updating a worsening situation. Solvency score, again, 26%. But virtually bankrupt. But again, they're not reporting their worsening situation. They're not reporting. They're not doing anything. And so it's actually a lot worse than it appears. 85% short interest. That's dropped a little bit. Anyway, this is the poll I'm talking about. And I want to see if this changes during this video. You know my fundamentals. I've shown you that the balance sheet is rubbish. There's no value to it whatsoever. whatsoever. I've talked to you and gave you the information about what the SEC are doing to stop this sort of short runs again and all the rest of it. So you're going to go and check that out. And what we did with GameStop, so you can see that you can blow over the army with a feather. You really can. And this is the poll right now. That's where it is at the moment. 95 votes, and you all think it's going to $10 or $100. So what I'm going to do now is put in the chat. This is happening during the live video. There it is. There is the X poll. Please go and vote on the poll. I will also put it in Rumble. Here is my Rumble audience. There you go. X poll. They'll want to vote on it as well. We've got a nice audience there today. There you go. That's Rumble. And now with an insight from a technical point of view, let's see if Sensei thinks it's going to, or there's any evidence at all to suggest it's going to $10 or $100, because that's what you're saying. That's what you believe to be the case. All right, let's see if that changes over the course of this video. Sensei, do you see $10, $100 in your crystal ball?
Thank you, Martin. Thanks for the introduction. Yeah, I mean, FFIE, it's one of those stocks you have to refer back to the GameStop saga and then dial it down about 100 notches. As you can see in the previous videos that you've just put out, is that the rules are changing. The SEC is clamping down on stuff like this. They don't want their hedge funds going under. There are massive people, massive institutions that won't allow this to happen. It is against what they want to happen. They don't want their hedge funds to go under, and they're much more powerful than the Reddit groups and the fake YouTubers putting out $100 FFIE. Can it go to 100? Can it go to $10? Yes. I mean, if you're asking, can it? Is there a possibility? Yes. Are the chances very low? Yes, the chances are very low. Is there a lot of volume being traded? Yes. Today, there's $230 million in volume for a $79 million market cap stock. So there is the volume. People are still behind this stock. I even have trade setups to take this to higher levels. My highest level is about $5, and that's sort of my best case scenario, which I'm willing to go for. But I've made sure that after my first trade, I've got enough money to cover my position, to cover my risk management, to make sure that if it does go to zero or under my stop loss, I've still made money and I've covered myself. Thankfully, on our video, we got a good entry around just below the $1 mark. We took our first profits at $1.60. Today, we hit our second profits at $2. I have my next profits at $2.50, then $3, and eventually my best case, which is very unlikely to happen, is about $5.78. But I'm prepared for it to happen. But most importantly, I'm not looking at the higher targets. I'm looking at the lower targets. I'm looking at dropping back below $1, going to zero. As soon as it drops below 91 cents, my stop loss triggers, my risk management comes in place. I have nothing to lose. In fact, I've actually made money now. I'm not going to be in debt. I'm not going to be owing anyone money. I'm controlled my emotions.
Sensei,
I'm not in overdraft.
Can I jump in at that point?
Yeah.
I just want to make sure that we add this, because people come in and out of the show very, very quickly. I hate interrupting in your flow, but because the way people watch in and out in seconds, I just want to make sure, as close to your comment there as possible, I put my thoughts to this. You mentioned the stop loss. We understand the stop loss, and you're using it correctly. You know what I'm going to say, right? On a very volatile stock like this, a lot of brokerages offer insurance because there's no guarantee. People think they put a stop loss in place, 100%. When it hits that level, I'm going to get out with my money and I'm going to walk off to the bank and sit on the beach drinking pina coladas. That's not a guarantee. Okay, it's what's supposed to happen, but like we've seen when GameStop happened and Robinhood brought the drawbridge down, banks banks shut the banks because they lent your money out 10 times. If everybody wanted to, empty their bank accounts today, the first handful of people could do it, and then it'd be like, hang on a minute, bring the drawbridge down, everybody. Everybody's getting the money out the bank. If everyone set a trail order of where we are now at, say, 180, where we are right now, everybody was at that level, right? It wouldn't pay out. Obviously, it can't pay out. It's flipping impossible because the amount of orders just cannot be done that quickly, and there's no money to pay anybody out. So just bear that in mind. Sensei is absolutely right. He's doing his trading losses, but bearing in mind the trailing losses, not the regular stop orders and the buy orders. The trailing orders only operate during main opening hours. After hours, they don't work. So that, stop orders do, as long as you've executed it to go, overnight and all the rest of it. But everything else doesn't. The trailing orders don't. And if you're following the stock up or following it down, and all of a sudden it drops quickly, it might suddenly drop like that. And for a big institution or a big investor dumps the stock, it drops from 178 down to 4 cents. Don't expect your money to have your trade to have been sold. So even though you are right, just let everyone know. People use that sometimes, thinking, yeah, I can do what I want and I can just go to bed and I'm going to be fine. It's not the case.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for bringing that point, clarifying that point. It's a very important point. It's essentially, you can have a stop loss in place, you can have a trailing stop loss in place, but if a big market order comes in on a low market cap stock, that stop loss might become invalid. It might shoot right past it, and you get triggered for a stop loss at levels much lower than you're expecting. And the way I've minimized that threat is what I've said already. Got 2 take profit zones. I've already taken profit. So if that does happen, maybe because my stop loss doesn't go through, instead of actually securing profits, if my stop loss went through right now, we've made money because I've already taken two take profits. My first take profit made sure that I break even if my stop loss hits. My second take profit makes sure I've got profit if my stop loss hits. However, now, because there is a risk of stop losses going under and suddenly breaking through it, instead of making profit, maybe I break even because the stop loss might trigger at 50 cents, or I have you have to manage your risk and know what the risk is of trading a stock like this, which is what Martyn thankfully brought to our attention, which is it can trigger much lower and you can end up losing more. So
here it goes.
Things you can mitigate, which is taking profits and putting it to the side.
There it goes, mate. Moving now.
Yeah.
That's
it's coming straight back down. We've taken 2 profits. It was a significant level at $2. It seems like we haven't held the $2 mark. Looking like people are taking their profits and they're not risking the gamble. Remember, there's people that are betting with millions of dollars of this. There are banks that are probably got some traders making money from this. They've got millions of dollars behind them. If they lose on one trade, they've got enough money to cover it to go again. So there is a lot of shorters out there with a lot more money than us retail investors. So be careful. And it seems like the $2 has been a bit of resistance for this stock, and it might come all the way back down to $1. So be very careful with this stock.
Thank you, Sensei, for that. So let's go back now and let's have a look at our poll and see if you've changed at all. You can see here we've got zeros. Actually, I think zero's gone up a bit, hasn't it? I think zero's gone up since we... did anyone write down what it was? I should have probably done that. But I think the percentage of 100 is, I think that was 22, if I'm correct. It's dropped to 21. $10, I think, was 44. May have been point something. I'm not sure. Anyway, I'm sure somebody will correct me, but I'm sure zero has gone up. That's now 20%. So there you go. There's the poll. So it doesn't take much, does it? If we can influence a poll there by sharing information with you, what can an institution do with millions of dollars? People are starting to think, oh, okay, maybe it can go to zero. So what I'd like you to do now is, if we're going to put this out as its own video later on, when this comes out, please share it and let everyone know. Be responsible investors. Click above my head. If you click above my head up here in the links, you will find the information to what I was talking about earlier, the SEC rules that are now changing, and also Sensei's chart as well. Sensei's just done a great chart giving you all the buy levels, the sell levels, the support levels, and all the rest of it. Make sure that you do take advantage of that as well. Also put that above my head. and down below in the description as well. But I'll post it over here as we watch Faraday literally just dropping like a stone, 100% a few moments ago. Click up here for those two videos. I've got the chart and I've got the SEC, which will probably be part of the playlist. If I can fit 3 screens on, I'll put the playlist and the SEC changes of rules as well. So there you go. Until next time, as always, invest, be wise. I love how he does that. That's very subtle, very professional though. Very professional. Sensei said to me yesterday, we're going to look back on a few years and go, look how much better our videos are now. There you go. Until next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.